Welcome back, everybody. I'm working on the shooting gallery tutorial. We've added a ducky, and we're going to do a little thing called inheritance today. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new object duck target. And in this one, it'll behave exactly like the object duck. The only difference is it will be worth more points because that target is smaller and harder to hit. So what we'll do is we're going to take advantage of a thing called inheritance. Inheritance is a type of object-oriented programming paradigm that is very common among software developers today, and it's one of the main ways in which a lot of code is developed and created. Now, we have the advantage of working with GameMaker Studio, and so we can deal with objects with a more physical that we can see and interact with. If you were to do object-oriented programming in code, it would look a little different. But this is good because this gives you the same idea as to what's going on with object inheritance. And the idea here is we already have an object duck, and it behaves on a timer. It's there for a time, and then it disappears. You can click it, it's destroyed. And so there's some things that are already working right. So if we're going to create another object that almost behaves the same, but with a little difference, we might as well use object or inheritance. Okay, but before we do it, let's get on Git. I know, it's hard not to have a pun. So we're going to go ahead and go into Git and just check to make sure everything's up to date. So I'm going to just do a Git status, and it looks like everything's up to date. So I'm going to do a Git pull origin master and make sure there's nothing on the online repo that I don't already have here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go, up to date. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out a new branch. And so we're going to go check out the development branch. Okay, and so I'm just going to type git. Well, let's go ahead and do git branch, see what branches we have. Yep, there it is. So I'm going to do a git checkout development. Okay. Now, I've done some work on development before, and I actually did this tutorial once. I was recording it and I had some mistakes, so I'm going to just verify that everything looks okay. There might be a weird, wacky thing going on here, and let's just see what's going on. When I check it out, everything looks the same. Great. Okay, so I think we're good and we can proceed. So we're on development branch. This is where we're going to do our work, and as soon as we've got the new ducky and as soon as we've got some timelines, which will be my next video, I think we'll bring all that back onto the master branch. So let's go ahead and create our new object. So I'm just going to create a new object like I've done before. I'm going to name it and choose its sprite. And this is duck underscore target. And I'm going to choose the sprite. And as you may recall, it had a collision mask that was just the size of that target there. So let me just show you that just as a reminder in case you don't have this sprite. So let's take a look at sprite duck target. We have first preview mask is right there. If we just go ahead and let's go ahead and hide some of this stuff, we don't need that. You'll notice the origin is the bottom center as well. Okay, so that's all set. We have our new object, and let's go ahead and just put it on the room and see if it behaves right. So we need to scroll down. I'm just going to go ahead and close sprites and then go to the room main, double click it, and let's drag out our new ducky. Object duck target. We put the target right there, and we'll grab a couple of them, kind of all in the same general area, make it a little easier to hit. And notice how they have a different sprite, and they should act exactly the same as the rest. So let's just go ahead and test it and see. Nothing. Oh, ha ha ha. I didn't do the most important step. By the way, we do this, right? This is why you test. Okay. Object duck target. We didn't do anything. There's no events, right? Okay. So what I really meant to say is this duck is going to be the child of our duck, object duck. So watch what happens. The moment I select object duck as the parent, we consider object duck target a child of object duck. And immediately you see all these events now are attached to it. You see how this displays. Let's go ahead and save changes and test it one more time. Now when I click it, it should disappear. Let's just see if that works. Yes, and it does. Okay. Okay. If you want to test the, let's try clicking where there's no target and just see if it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, just wanted to verify that. Just wanted to kind of point that out. And hey, back here, I gotta close that window there. Bam. All right, so, okay, so now the only difference is we want it to have a different score. So what we need to do now is we need to change the left press event, okay? And let's go ahead and take a look at the existing left press. It's gonna make it a little easier if we see what it's already doing. And let's try to get this thing centered. I'm just gonna drag this over to the left a little bit. And all right, so we have the left press. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add an event, and we're gonna do that, add it all over again. We already have it, left pressed. Notice all of my code goes away. My actions are gone now. And so what I wanna do now is bring the actions back. So let's double click here, let's bring this out. And as you may recall, we're going to add to the score. And remember, it's set score. I'm going to click on set score. Now this time we're going to make it worth 50 points. You can choose whatever you want it to. I'm going to check relative, but we have to tell it what score are we changing. We're changing the score of object score. Okay, that's an important piece. And then we're going to do destroy instance. Drag that, drop it there. Let's just verify that. Nice and big, left press, set a score of 50, then destroy the instance. Let's test it out. See if it's right. There, look at that, 50 points. And it worked. Okay. You may want to try to do it so you can click more than one ducky. I know it's right around here, so I'm going to just start clicking like crazy. Nope, I'm too slow. It's because I don't have a mouse. I'm using the little trackpad. But you might want to test that out. Let's just assume I did and it worked. I'm going to pause the video and make sure. Okay, well I got to click 2 of the duckies, only worth 10, and we added to the score. So I'll try it one more time, and then you'll see if I can get a score of 70, you'll know I clicked the 2 different ones. Or, of course, you know if I get a score of 100, you know that I've got my mouse. I did it. I got a score of 100. So now we know this is working. So the only thing I have to do now at this point, I know this all works. I've got my child duck. All I have to do is just commit my changes. But before you do, always, always, always click save and test. We already tested it. We know it works. So now I'm going to do a git add dot git commit dash m adding duck target child of duck. There we go. And we already modified its score, so we're good. So I'm going to do a git push origin. That's the online repository development. And I push it through. Updates were rejected. Tip of the current branch is behind its remote counterpart indicate. Oh, so I didn't do that with the git branch. And so there, we need to make sure we pull in the remote. And so let's try it. Git status, all right, git pull origin development. Again, I make mistakes, so did that right. Conflict, hey, merge conflicts. All right, so I'm going to deal with this. I have another video that talks about merge conflicts, but just so you know, if you're following along and you have the same problem, you're going to need to fix those conflicts using the Atom editor and using the diff split plugin. I'm going to do that and see if I get it to work and come back and stay tuned. But this should be the end of this video for this time. Wish me luck, and I will see you next time when we talk about adding timelines. Thanks for watching.